Hello, everybody, and welcome back to NCAA 2005, and we are here further getting along with some more Pac-10 play, getting towards that middle portion of the season with game number 6 of the year against the Washington Huskies, who we have played before in the series. We were supposed to, at least, and I forgot, I guess. I forgot that I had recorded it and made it a game in, year number 2 and just skipped over it completely, and I deleted the raw footage of it, so I have no idea what the result was, and all the games that we played around it, I forgot what the score of those were, like Utah State and Boise and all that, so lots of fun when you're the one person running the whole operation, okay? But no excuses, okay? That was just a mistake on my part. But we do finally get to see some Washington gameplay. I made sure it was another road game, so we at least got, because the first one was a road game, so, and then we also have problems right here, as DeAndre Poole is supposed to be getting suspended for 3 games, so we're not going to do that. And this is where the disciplinary points confuses me, because it takes all of our points to give him the suspension that the NCAA wants to give him, but if I suspend him for fewer, then it gives us more points left. So I don't understand how that works. And that's probably why we got the sanctions that we got the first time, because, I don't really, I'm not fully understanding how the system works. And then you see the NCAA team interest at the top, so I don't know if that means that they're more interested in DeAndre Poole's problems? I don't know. But either way, DeAndre Poole's already had issues earlier in the year, disciplinary problems earlier in the year. So he's further creating more problems for this roster. Not a good thing, but Rochester throwing interceptions is also not a good thing, and that's how he's going to start off our game. Now Washington has this one going the other way, and very quickly they don't waste any time moving the ball forward, as Darian Calhoun, who is the starting quarterback for Washington, because their starter is injured for the rest of the year. He sustained a pretty serious injury, and he's out for 8 weeks. And so now Darian Calhoun, who is the backup junior, who had 1,000 yards last year and about 6 touchdowns and 10 picks, is going to start for Washington in this game. I don't know if he's necessarily on that pace this year, but he did see the field a little bit last year, and now it's a touchdown for the Washington Huskies as they're going to get into the end zone. And it looks like the running back Joe Green picks up his 4th touchdown of the season. But now Washington back on offense, and Calhoun's just going to absolutely bomb this ball, and it's going to be intercepted. And it looks like it maybe even been fumbled, but still recovered by the Vandals. So we might get another look at it, I'm not sure. But a weird play, exchanging of hands, and we will see here. So, it's an absolute bomb of a ball here. And Hugh Johnson, the free safety, makes the interception. He makes the grab, and it looks like he might fumble the ball on the way down. But, it definitely is recovered by the Vandals still. So it is going to be our football heading the other way at about maybe about the Washington 35, I'm going to guess. So it's a good, or we're going to move ahead at least. So it's 1st and 10 now in Washington territory, and it is loud here. Loud in Husky Stadium, that is for sure. And on 1st and 10 here, we're going to hand off to Keith Bridges, who shimmies and shakes up the middle of the field, finds a little bit of room, and gets a first down for the Vandals, and we will continue to move here. So Keith Bridges already with a nice little bit of production in this game, but now we're going to cut to a 2nd and 5 here, and Chester going to fake the handoff, going to roll here and throw it out towards the sideline, and that pass is going to be caught just about at the sticks, I would say. It looks about just at the sticks, and Bam Blanks, the tight end, makes the catch. So 1st and 10 for the Vandals. Chester back to pass, rolls out again, throws it to the other side of the field, and that pass is going to be caught in the end zone for a Vandal touchdown. And we will see exactly who is the culprit who caught it, man. Maybe if we get another look at it. We're going to get another look, and then hopefully we can see the numbers on the chest. I hope so. But it doesn't look like it. It doesn't look like we'll get a clear view at it. I wish there was a better indicator in this game on who is catching what. That is Roderick Williams' side of the field, but I'm not entirely sure if it was him. The build wasn't the same, but Calhoun has got the boys moving the other way pretty easily once again. A nice pass downfield and nearly getting his head taken off. Looks like Jonathan Small, the top receiver for the Huskies. Looks like he just about lost his helmet. But Calhoun on the next play here drops back to pass again, dumps it off quickly here, and that pass is going to be caught. And judging by the build, it looks like it might have been Lamont Gore, the tight end, the sophomore tight end for the Huskies, because that was an awfully big boy, and he had the swag of a tight end with the arm braces and whatnot. But Washington doesn't have a whole lot in this receiving corps to really kind of write home about. There's not a ton of production between all of their top receivers, but maybe we will see a little bit of growth here in this game. So 3rd and goal here, Calhoun's going to go with the handoff back to Joe Green, the running back, and he's going to pick up Or actually, I believe that's a different, or no, it's Joe Green. It is Joe Green. I forgot Joe Green was a single-digit number, but that is going to be touchdown number 5 for Joe Green and touchdown number 2 for Washington in this game as the Huskies take a 7-point lead. So 7-14 your score here, 1st and 10 for the Vandals. Chester running around the pocket looking for some open space, and he finds an open target downfield for another completion. And there's a huge first down for the Idaho offense, and we're going to move forward. So 1st and 10 here, now inside the 35. Chester going to drop back to pass here. Plenty of time, unloads it, and finds another player on the other team. And Washington now with a second interception in this ball game. Rochester continuing to be pretty reckless with the football in these games here. Got to start scratching your head. Got to start asking the hard questions, maybe, perhaps, because again, this guy was never not there. He was always there. And Trey Mosley not even attempting to run a route either. He completed his route, so that's where he sits, I guess. That's where he's going to stay. But either way, Washington had that one going the other way here, but they had to give it back to us. So on a 2nd and 14, basically back where we were before the interception, back like we never left. Or rather, that completion is going to get us back where we were, back where we left off. So we are back in Washington territory, and now on the 3rd and 12, literally back at the Washington 34. Chester, again, in a collapsing pocket, gets rid of it, and a sliding catch right at the sticks by Roderick Williams is going to get us close to the first down marker, but I don't think we're going to have it. So they're going to send out the walk-on kicker, Jeff Dennis, to try and nail a 41-yarder in this loud rockin' Husky Stadium. The kick is up, and it is good miraculously. So Jeff Dennis has been a really good blessing for this team so far this season, nailing that field goal, that 41-yarder outside. We're not in the conditions of a dome, so that's a pure field goal. So 10-14 is the score here, and now Washington trying to get some pointage before the first half comes to a close. There's only 26 seconds left to go. It looks like a fullback dive to try and get the first down off the back of Steve Harden, the senior fullback, and they're going to get it. But they're going to run with the hurry up here with only 20 seconds left to go, and again they're going to go back to Harden, the fullback, and he's got absolutely no space to run, absolutely nowhere to go. I'm not sure if I agree with that call. It looks like maybe Lewis Sharp got the tackle, the defensive tackle. Made the tackle in the backfield. So on a 2nd and 10, they're going to go back to the fullback here with Sharp, and they're just going to continue to hammer these fullback dives, and I guess they're just going to take the 3 points. They have plenty of time to maybe try and set up a drive and take some shots at the end zone, but Washington's just going to rely on maybe being up 7, and the kick is good, so they are. So they're going to take a 17-10 lead with just a couple seconds on the clock, or rather as time expires here in the first half. So we've played a competitive first half against Washington. I do think there's an absolute path to victory here, but we're going to have to tighten up a little bit on offense, and Rochester's going to have to limit the mistakes here in the second half. So here in the 3rd quarter, now Washington back on offense, and Calhoun is going to make a mistake of his own as he's going to throw his own interception to Jeff Williams, the defensive captain. He's going to get himself an interception, or another interception on the year, as Calhoun just fires this one down the middle of the field, and I guess just didn't see Williams, man. He was standing there the whole time. It's not like he just disappeared. He was there the entire time, and both quarterbacks maybe struggling to read the zone a little bit, not really seeing the field like they should be. So, but it's already 3rd and 17 for our offense. We're struggling to move forward here. Chester, all day to throw, continues to roll out to his right, throws it to his left, however, and that pass is batted down. Looks like he tried to hit Roderick Williams, who was just kind of in a one-on-one coverage, but he wasn't even moving, so neither player had extra leverage in completing that catch. So bring out Jeff Dennis once again for another long field goal, and he nails this one, man. So very, very impressive. I'm impressed with what we're seeing from Dennis. I'm not super impressed with what we're seeing from the rest of the offense, however. So 13-17 is the game now, and we once again have the ball on offense right at about midfield. Chester going to go with the fake handoff, roll it to the left, fire it down the sideline, and he's going to find an open receiver. And it looks like it might have been Stuart Malone. I'm going to guess it was an 86. It looked like Stuart Malone maybe went out and ran a route on that play, but we will see. We will certainly see here. There should be a better angle for us to see. But I believe that's who it was. But either way, it's a first down. Now we're going to fast forward to a 3rd and inches. Chester getting caught in the backfield on his own players, has to just kind of flip it out and get rid of it before the pressure comes. And I think he had time maybe to wait for a route to develop, but it's Ross Chester, man. It looks like he just had a brain fart. So bring out Dennis again for another field goal, and he nails this one through. So 16-17 now the score, and I'm starting to get annoyed with all these field goals because it's not really helping the situation too much. We're still trailing Washington, but at least our our defense has really shown up against the Huskies here in the third quarter. So if we continue that rate of play, then we should find a path to victory, at least here in the fourth quarter. But Washington back on offense. Calhoun rolls all the way out to his right, continues to roll, deep shot downfield, and that pass is going to be caught, and nearly losing his head once again is Jonathan Small, but he is going to make that catch. And now Washington's got a brand new lease on life here inside the 5. But on 3rd and goal, our defense again applying the pressure. And that pass is going to be broken up in the end zone, and Washington cannot convert. So Washington's still looking to find the end zone for the first time in a long time in this ball game, as Calhoun was unable to connect that pass into the end zone. So it's going to bring up 4th down, and they're going to send out the kicking team. They're not going to try and go for it, even though a field goal really doesn't help them a lot either. They're already leading by 1, and leading by 4 doesn't really change much in this ball game at all, other than the fact that we now need to at least score a touchdown. But there's plenty of time to do it. So now, Vandal offense back on the field. Ross Chester dumping this one off quickly here in the flat, and now cutting upfield is Trey Mosley for, it looks like it may be about a first down, maybe you've been short, so he was short a yard. So on 2nd and 1 here, just at about the 30-yard line, Chester, quick release down the sideline to that same part of the field, and it's going to be caught, and then diving into the end zone is Trey Mosley after bouncing off a couple of Washington defenders. We're going to get another look at this one, because this is an impressive athletic play here from Mosley. Just receives the catch here, misses, the first defender was going for the pick, and the second one, he had a chance maybe. Yeah, he just stumbles off of him, and Mosley just keeps his composure to dive forward into the end zone. So now 23-20 is the score. Now, we need to at least get some more points here to erase this one possession lead for Washington, and that is going to do it as Chester fires this one off, and it's going to be caught and into the end zone for another Idaho touchdown. And give me another look at it, man. Just give me another quick look at it as Chester is starting to nail some of these throws, man. And that looks like it's Bam Blanks, the tight end, who got that touchdown. Wow, look at there, Bam Blanks. I don't think we've seen too many nice little touchdowns like this from him, but yeah, you put the linebacker in coverage, and Bam Blanks is quicker. So 30-20 now the score here as time is ticking away for Washington. They're going to have to come up with some sort of option here as Calhoun is stuck on his own fullback, but he eventually does flip this ball out here, just sends it downfield, and it's Seth Martz, the 3rd receiver on the depth chart, who makes the catch. And now Washington's going to try and run with some tempo. They have plenty of time, but they need 10 points, not just one possession's worth of points, so they're going to move with some purpose here. And again, Calhoun getting stuck on Joe Green, the running back, but he does find another open receiver. And that one's going to be Nathan Sherman across the middle, and now that will continue Washington's drive, get him close to. So on a 3rd and 1, they're going to go with a handoff to the fullback. And again, we have seen a lot of Steve Harden in this game, and I want to tell you, man, in Steve Harden's career at Washington, he has never touched the field until this season, and he only had 50 yards on the season heading into this game. So he's getting a lot of calls in this game and hasn't really had the production to prove it. And now Calhoun's going to try and run the option here. A nice spin move allows him to get close to the first down marker. I don't know if he made it all the way there, but a nice heads-up play from Calhoun, but considering the time management that Washington's trying to go for, I'm not sure if that was a play they could probably afford to take. So on 3rd and 1 now, time under 2 minutes now, Calhoun dropping back, takes a shot towards the end zone, and it's going to be caught in the back of the end zone for another Washington touchdown. And now Washington has finally answered back, and that gets them within the one possession. So I guess their earlier field goal in the game really helped them out here, because now they can dangle between one possession or so because of that field goal now. You know, if it was still 17, they'd be looking at a different situation right now, but because it's 27-30, they find themselves in a good spot. So here is the onside kick here with a minute 47, and that kick is immediately recovered by our special teams unit, and so that is going to pretty much spell doom here for the Washington Huskies, but we're still moving the football, and Chester now takes a shot as we still have to move the ball. Washington has their timeout, so we still have to we still have to move the ball here somewhat. So we can't just simply rest on our laurels and let that time tick away. We're going to have to do something. And Trey Mosley is going to help us do that something as he makes that catch in between 2 defenders, nearly loses his life, but instead he gets us a nice fresh set of downs. And now we're running with the football, and that looks like Keith Bridges maybe going to run an option with perhaps Stuart Malone, the fullback, but instead he keeps it himself, runs up the middle, and gets a 12-yard touchdown run into the end zone. And now that's going to pretty much seal the final nail in the coffin for Washington, as pretty much a game of endurance here in this fourth quarter ends up in favor of us as we extend to 5-1 on the year and will most definitely at least stay in the rankings, barring that we lose any game that we sim once we get back to the hub world, which is always a possibility. But we find ourselves off to another great start here. I didn't think we would have this good of a start. I thought we would really struggle a lot, but there's still plenty of games left. We essentially have half of our schedule still left to go, so it's completely up in the air how the rest of Pac-10 play is going to go for this Idaho team. It could get worse before it gets better. We're not entirely sure. If games like Stanford are any indicator, it could get worse before it gets better. So I'm actually surprised we won this game. I thought we could very easily lose this game, but I'm glad that we ended up winning it. So, and Keith Bridges ended up running for over 100 yards, which I don't remember. I don't recall. I just don't. It's something, but at least he's done it, so we can't take it away from him. Red zone performance was absolutely abysmal in this game. That's definitely kind of the tail of the tape here. We still scored 37 points, so I guess I can't give too much slack to the offense here, but still 5 red zone trips here, and that's your percentage. It's not a great look. It's not an amazing look. Rochester again continues to put up really just abysmal stat lines: 2 INTs to 3 touchdowns and a 41% completion percentage. Yeah, I'm not definitely writing home about that, but I don't know, it's leading to win, so I'm just going to let it go. But yeah, Keith Bridges, 121 rushing yards. A good look for him. I mean, that's a great look for him. We're so used to not seeing a ton of that production, but it's a good look for him. And then Jeff Dennis was the MVP. I mean, really, the MVP. We head home and welcome Washington State, and we lose a close one to the Cougars, and so that drops us to 5-2, puts us 3-2 in conference. So now Pac-10 hopes kind of up in the air, really. I mean, I didn't think we had a chance to make a run at Pac-10, but we started off good, and now things are kind of shaky. But that's going to take us into 1-6 Oregon now. We're going to head to Autzen Stadium and take on the 1-6 Ducks. So hopes to you guys in Autzen when we play Oregon, the Ducks.